Reignite your intuition to grow your intuitive self. This is episode number 18, where I talk about, are robots intuitive? My name is Angela and I'm your host of the show and a highly intuitive person by birth who never lost her connection. I am the expert in supporting you, regaining your intuition and living a fulfilled and much easier life with it. Trusting fully your intuition takes time and is a very individual process. I share with you my knowledge and strategies I have developed to support yourself on a daily basis in any situation. By signing up to my freebie, you can support yourself to connect with your intuition. Go to angelahack.com/en18. You might think that's a bit a weird question. Why do I ask if robots are intuitive? Well, I started thinking about those things long time ago. Why? Due to my work, my daily work, I very often figured that the industrialization did not only do goods on us. That's just normal. There is always light and dark and good and bad and positive and negative, etc. But robots are something that's, in my opinion, coming out of that. It has to do with being perfect, with perfectionism. Humans are individuals. Individuals are perfect the way they are. They're just individually perfect. Robots on their side are supposed to be equal. But in my opinion, they're not. They are individual in their ways as they are as well. Does that sound strange? I hope not too strange. As a matter of fact, it's part of us that everything is intuitive. Even my car. Because everything out here is energy. And energy is intuition. And intuition is energy. For example, let's take back to my car. There was a time when my dear beloved little car freaked me out. At the beginning, it gave me an extremely hard time. I said, I have this Monday version. Always something's not working. And it's the first time in my life that I bought a brand new car. And I was so proud. But it was also the first time of my life I bought a Japanese car. And I didn't like it within myself. I actually used to call them rice balls. No reason. It's a very good car. But I was like, I have to have German cars or Italian cars or whatever. And ended up having a Japanese car. And I was just against it. And then after about 1.5 years, I was so fed up with always having issues and problems. I was very happy I found the first time in my life a garage that was super cool and very good, and they never made any problems, and they explained me everything, and they took me for real as a woman asking about cars. And it ended that I looked at other cars. And the first car I looked at was a Maserati. And no, I couldn't afford the car at that time. But I was able to sit in the car. And I loved it. I was like, oh, that car's just made for me. And I mean, come on, it's just techniques, huh? No intuition, right? Good. The same day I looked at a Maserati, I also looked at a VW and at a Skoda. But Missy was like, oh, I have to have this Maserati right about yesterday. As already mentioned, I couldn't afford it back then. And I don't buy things I can't afford. Not if I have to go in debt that I don't want to go to. So I drove my car and my car started stuttering. Literally stuttering. blah, 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 blah. I was like, huh? Now they said everything's fine and my car is breaking down and blah, blah, blah. And I was so annoyed with my car. I was like, and I want to have the Maserati. Then at a certain point, that calmed down a bit with the Maserati idea. I was like, okay, whatever. And all of a sudden I figured, oh, my car is running smoothly. It's doing great. And then I saw a Maserati on the street in the color I want to have it. That was all within a few months. It's not within days. And guess what? My car stopped starting. I remember I looked at this Maserati and I was like, oh my God. That's the color, that's the car, that's mine. And I ended up sitting in a car that's not starting. In the good old days, it was a bit easier. You just, turn the key, but I could only press a button. I don't like that. I like to have techniques in my hand and not just buttons. And then I said to my car, listen, I can't afford the Maserati yet. For right now, forget, and for this situation, you are my perfect buddy. And yes, when you are a bit older and I'm a bit richer, you might become a new owner, but I'll make sure it's a very, very good one. It's one that deserves you because it's one that knows that you are awesome, you're special, and you're going with me through everything. It might have looked a bit funny when I spoke with my car. I was also flattering it with my hand, telling it how good it is. Since that day, I never had any issues again with my car. Not even starting when it's super cold. And believe me, it is super cold in Switzerland from time to time right now. So I was like, whoa. And again, the question, are robots intuitive? A car is kind of a robot. And yes, my car is. And yes, everything is intuitive because everything is energy. Does that sound a bit strange or a bit weirdo or a bit fancy? Good! That's what's supposed to be. That will make you realize better how you treat other things. I'm not talking about humans, I'm talking about things. I'm not talking about any other beings, like animals or trees. I'm talking about things. Believe me, talk to them nicely. I'm pretty sure you've heard of the test to buy 2 plants, and in one plant you write that this is a stupid, dumb, ugly, whatever plant, and the other one is beautiful, nice, and blah, blah, blah. Then you see that the one plant is just not growing and the other plant is beautifully looking. Do you really think this is not happening when it's something electronic? I experienced that with my car very, very deeply. I even experienced it with my phone until the point I had to give up because my phone was stronger and I had to get a new one. But I was always like, I don't like that phone. It's an old phone. Mama, I don't buy a new one. A new one is too expensive. I don't like it that it's so expensive. Till the morning I woke up and I was like, oh my God. I have to go and buy a phone. That's what I did. So yes, robots are intuitive. And everything and everybody else too. Are you ready for reignition? Yes? Then go to angelahack.com EN18 and sign up for the freebie with the link you find there. Thank you for listening to Reignite Your Intuition. If you like my podcast, please come back. Tell friends and feel free to share with others how they can access the podcast.